Hello guys, welcome to IITC channel. Today we are going to see drop object. Drop object is very critical with respect to the simultaneous operation, with respect to the normal operation where there is no toe guards, and during construction, during shutdown, during breakdown, during general shutdown. So we need to see how we can avoid the drop object when there are normal operations, but lifting when there are maintenance activity, when there are construction activity, when there is a general shutdown, when there is a maintenance activity. So guys, drop object can kill anyone, can kill anyone. And even don't mistake yourself that if you have the helmet, even in spite of having helmet, drop object can kill you. The drop object means the size of the object and the height of the fall. So this both we have to see in togetherness to understand the drop object risk. You cannot guarantee that you have the helmet on your head and if something falls on, you are safe. No, it is not like that. It is a myth. We are going to see everything in this following session and try to understand. Gravity does not take a break. Gravity does not take a break. If something slips from the height, it will fall on the ground. And if you are coming in between the ground and the fall, you are in danger. So guys, we are going to see what are the drop objects, how it can happen, how you can prevent, what are the safe measures. We are going to see everything. And we will see the statistics also for the drop object. Gentlemen and ladies, I have a request to you. Please subscribe the channel and please press on the bell icon so that you can get a regular update. I can also request you to please send the link of this program to your colleagues, to your construction team, to your project manager, to your maintenance team, to your operation team so that they can also get familiar with the drop object. Correct? Guys, this is about me. I'm not going to read line by line. I will request you go through when you have some time. These are IITC services. These are key competencies of IITC. Guys, here we are privileged and we are happy to allow you to use this link to train your team, maybe operation team, maintenance team, construction team, your safety team, your engineering team, your project management, your construction management, your construction manager, your contractor, anybody, everybody who are going to go in the field and where there is a possibility of drop object. You can also use this link as a safety moment or a toolbox training for people who are working at height to protect themselves and other fellows from drop object. So that they can get familiar, they can get aware and they can protect themselves. In this slide, we will understand what is the drop object. Basically, drop object is creating a lot of issues, number of risk of serious injuries, fatalities, as well as equipment damages in several industries worldwide. This is a common issues not only in India, Middle East, but any country, every country where are the industry, they have the drop object issues and it does not discriminate that you are Indian or you are Arab or you are American or you are British. This can happen anywhere. Drop object consists of any item which has potential to cause injury, death, equipment damage or asset damage which can fall from the height from its original position. Drop object may be further divided in two parts, static and dynamic object. What is a static object? So static object we say that any object which failures may be attributed through gravity or natural forces. Say for example you have some material at height and that material is falling without application of any additional force. So it is coming with the help of gravitational force. So any unsecured material which is kept on the girder, which is kept on elevated height, which is kept on the roof, which is kept on elevated platform, or any unsecured item, or any fixing material like nuts and bolts and grids that falls to the ground by gravity. This is called as a static drop object. So for you can understand static drop objects are those drop objects which falls to the ground or on the ground by gravity or natural force. And now if you can the definition of the dynamic force, that means in static force there is no application of additional force. So here you can say that there is application of additional force. So you can see the definition is any object whose failure may be attributed to applied force. Say for example, some moving equipments are ever at height. Say for example, there is a crane operation. Say for example, helicopter crash. Say for example, severe weather. Say for example, any moving pumps. So that is why it is said a dynamic object or dynamic drop object. So here there is external force are applied. So that is why it is saying that it is said that it is mentioned that this is a dynamic object. Now you can see in the picture here. See, this is at elevated and there is just something, some piece is there, and some piece of iron is there. And here on the edge of the platform you have the hammer, right? This can fall. Here you see in the bracket there is a, I think some nuts are there which can fall. Here there is some piece of equipments are there. See, now you can see that this is the drop object. This has fallen down from the height. This is the crane operation. Some chain, some nuts, some bolts, some hooks can fall. So here you can see that on the platform I think there are something which can fall. Correct, guys? So here in this slide we are going to see the drop object event which has happened in the oil and gas industry. This slide, particular slide, we are going to see that drop object categories. That means which has fallen and how many times. So if you see the equipment parts, those equipments which are under operation at elevated height on the different decks or different platforms, what is the frequency or how many times the equipment parts has fallen down from the height. Manual tool, there are some wrenches are there, some tools are there, some screwdrivers are there. How many manual tools has fallen down from the height? Structure, structure may be a platform or some equipment or some walls. So how many times structure failure was there and it has fallen down from the top. Unsecured object, anything which is under loose situation can fall and from height, and how many times the unsecured equipment or object has fallen down. So here if you see the equipment part has fallen down 503 times. Manual tool has fallen down 107 times. Structural failure or equipment or something has fallen down 190 times. An unsecured object is 254. If you see the statistics, this is the highest one, equipment parts, and the second contributor is unsecured object is 254. If you see in terms of percentage, if you make it sum, so 47.7% times equipment part has fallen down, and second highest contributor is 24.1%, which is the second highest contributor, and manual tools and structures are at lower rate. But nothing worry, or we should worry in really seriously. The reason is whether manual tools fall down from the height or unsecured object falls from down, it does not matter. It matters what is the height and what is the size or weight of the falling object. Correct? I hope you agree with me, right? So here in this slide, again we are seeing the statistics of drop object event overview in the oil and gas industry. This slide is showing the statistics of drop of object in terms of drop height. If you see the first column, this is less than 1 meter, 1 to 2 meter, 2 to 3 meters, 3 to 4 meters, and 4 to 5 meters, and greater than 5 meters. So this is the height, and how many times it has fallen. If you see here, less than 1 meter is 313 times. This statistic has been taken from, I think, from OGP or UKHSE, where you get all the statistics, and that is how the statistics were made to explain you the understand the severity in terms of drop object. And if you see the first highest contributor is greater than 5 meter, 488 times has fallen down, and the second highest contributor is less than 1 meter. So question is, this is first thing, this is the height is more than 5 meter, and second is the weight we do not know. Probably in the next slide we have the statistic of the weight. So if you see, the highest contributor is greater than 5 meter is 46%. Here there are two hazardous situations. One is height, because height is depends on the height, and the gravity of falling object depends on the height as well as weight. And this is the 30% is less than 1 meter. For less than 1 meter, I think we should not be much concerned until unless the size of the object is very high. I hope you agree with me, right? Now guys, as we mentioned that we have also the category uh, of the drop objects in terms of weight. You see in the first column less than 2 kg, 2 to 4 kg, 4 to 6 kg, 6 to 8 kg, 8 to 10 kg, and greater than 10 kg. Can you understand? If this 10 kg falls from, let's say, 2 meter or 3 meter on anybody's head, do you think the person is going to survive? I don't think so. Less than 2 kg, I don't have any issue with 2 kg. If this falls from the 1 meter height, and if this falls from the 10 meter height or 5 meter height, there are different severity, there is different consequence. So I mean to say that height versus weight are interlinked. If height is less, weight is more, or height is more, weight is less, or height is more, weight is high, or height is less, weight is less, these are different combination. There are some software which will tell you what kind of severity you are going to get if some objects fall from some height and of some weight. So question here, if you see, the 61% is the 2 kg or less than 2 kg. If 2 kg or less than 2 kg drop object falls from the 5 meter on anybody's head or on helmet, my goodness, helmet will crush and the person will be killed. So we should have the PPE. This does not mean we should allow the drop object. I hope you understand, right? Okay, guys. Guys, this again the drop object events overview in the oil and gas industry. I hope you understand the onshore and offshore facilities. Onshore, the drop object has happened 80% time, and on onshore, this is 20%. So first is offshore. If I have mistaken or told you by mistake, this is 80% offshore. The reason of 80% at offshore is because offshore has got limited space and multi-story. Deck 1, deck 2, deck 3, deck 4, or heli deck, or spiral deck, or net deck, or boat landing deck. So there are, and these platforms are made of grit, so that there is no accumulation of water. So question is here, you have less space and multiple height. The possibility of equipments, of spare parts, of tools and tackles, of structure falling are high at the offshore. In onshore, probably there are some situations where there you have a first floor, a second floor, or elevated platform. So that is why the contributor in onshore is 20%, which is much more less than offshore. In this slide, if you see the drop object events with respect to the visibility and with respect to the weather. If you see the statistics, you see that 99% visibility is not a factor. Say for example, if there is 100 fall from the height, so 99% visibility was not a contributor to fall the object or for drop object. And even weather, 90% situation out of 100%, 90% situations are not related to weather. Say for example, you are keeping some nuts or some bolts or some hammer on the elevated height. Do you think weather will push the hammer if it is not, it is away from the edge? No way, not possible. Even visibility, how visibility can contribute the, drop object? It is not possible. There are some myth in the, say, in the people in the market, that visibility and weather are the contributor for drop object. No, my friend, no, no way. And here if you see that, as we have seen in the first slide, there are static object or there is dynamic drop object. Static drop object, it behaves with respect to the gravity and natural, and dynamic is a moving parts or some force is applied on the object. So 60% of drop object has happened in static nature. Something is kept on the edge of the platform, something is kept on the edge of the, near the equipment, and because of something it has gone wrong and drop object has happened. In this slide, we are going to see the top causes of the drop objects. What are the top reasons of the drop object? If you see, there are three categories we can see widely. First category is inadequate risk assessment or inadequate procedure. So question is, we are not able to identify the drop object hazard when we are working at height. Probably this may be due to any reason. It may be due to the planning, poor planning, or it may be poor design. You don't have the toe guards on the edge. You are not able to see some objects are on the edge of the platform, and there is no management of changes. Sometimes you do some changes on the platform, but you have not put the toe guards. So probably there is no management of change, and this is one of reason inadequate risk assessment or inadequate procedures. And if you see, the number two is the second contributor is integrity issues. What is integrity issues? Probably, and there are nuts and bolts. They are not, tightened on regular basis because of vibration, and the nuts and bolts are loosened out and it has fallen down. Probably there is a high corrosion. Some spare parts, some equipment, some structure, some ladder, some steps are corroded. So because of corrosion and poor maintenance, some object has fallen down or some part of a structure has fallen down and some part of equipment has fallen down. Improper installation, probably we have installed, some guards, some nuts, some bolts, but it is improper. And poorly stored or unsecured tools and equipment. Guys, I tell you, I have been working in the field for many years and I've seen that people don't secure the hand tool. But nowadays, hand tools are coming in a smart way that has got some tagline, and taglines are kept with the, some hooks on the cover hole. So that is good one. And the human factor. Human factor will come everywhere, whether you like it or don't like it. Maybe operator error. What is operator error? I am operator. I have gone on the top floor of the deck. I have taken some equipment or some pipe wrench, some tools and tackles, but I forget it and I kept it there. So this is the human error, and probably I am going going up with the means of steps and with means of ladder, and then I have not secured my equipment. This has fallen down, and this is also because of lack of training. So guys, what we are doing now, we are giving a training. These modules can be used by you people to train your people, to train your construction people, to train in as a classroom training, to use as a safety toolbox, and many more. And this program will inculcate and increase the awareness in the team. Poor behavior, people are there, but they don't have the right attitude. They come there for maintenance on the first floor, second floor, third floor of the platform, and then they do the maintenance and they do not secure the equipments. They do not secure the tools and tackles. Poor housekeeping, and this is one of the culprit, because on the elevated platform or on the elevated deck, if there are some maintenance, we do not clean the debris, we do not clean the unwanted material, and these are kept for a month and month, weeks and weeks. After some time, this will come on the edge of the platform and this will fall down. Poor inspection, we do not have plant safety inspection. For normally we have housekeeping inspection and plant safety inspection. We are not able to see what are the hazards of the drop object. Inadequate repairs and maintenance. if some equipments are vibrating and nuts and bolts are getting loosened, and if you do not do the repair and maintenance, probably this will loosen out and nuts and bolt will come out. So this will create the drop object. So in this slide we have seen the top contributor of the drop object is inadequate risk assessment or inadequate procedure. Second is integrity issues, and third is human factor engineering. Now you see here in this picture, you see identify the hazard, then assess the hazard and associated risk, then eliminate the hazard, then substitute the hazard, then control the hazard, then monitor the hazard. So you plan, do, check, act. So this is the philosophy. You can see the different kind of equipment or spare parts or parts of the equipment has fallen from the height. This, 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 this hook. So can you understand, this hook may be around 200 gram or 300 gram, and this falls from the 1 meter or 20 meters. These are different risks altogether. So eliminate the hazard, substitute the hazard, or control the hazard. And we know what is the ERIC PD: elimination, reduction, isolation, PPE, and discipline. We are not going to see over here, but those guys who are interested can go through my excellent video of risk assessment. You will understand how the risk assessment is done, what is the possibility or likelihood, and what is the severity. Very good video. Guys, I would request you to put your queries, your question in the comment section so that I can come back to you on your doubt, on your question. Guys, this is the very important slide. Please hold your breath and try to understand what this slide is going to tell you. Let us understand quickly the qualitative mental evaluation of the impact of the equipments. This is a 500 gram. If this falls from the height, this hammer is 1 kg, falls from height. So if this 500 gram equipment is falling from 15 meter, the impact is 75 kg on the helmet. Let me repeat you again. If any equipment, any piece of equipment, any piece of structure which has got 500 gram, means half a kg, it falls from the 15 meter, and if it falls on our helmet or on the ground, this can give the impact force of 75 kg. You understand, right? 75 kg. So if you understand, if something falls on your head of 75 kg weight, will you survive? If you survive, no problem. Do drop object. Go without helmet. Don't worry. And I would request you to please take this slide and train your people. 1 kg hammer. If 1 kg hammer, when it is falling from 30 meter, 1 kg hammer falling from the 30 meter, the impact is equivalent to 295 kg. It is like one valve. So you understand, if 295 kg is going on your head, will you survive? So likewise, there is a drill machine, portable drill machine of 2.1 kg. When it falls from the 35 meter, the impact is 720 kilogram. Guys, I would encourage you, don't do training to your team. Don't do much training, but please take the print of this slide and try to give this page to everyone, and you request everyone to read this slide, and then you say that if you are going to throw 75 kg of weight on his head, will he survive? Okay, if he survives, no problem. I'm very sure he will not survive. Then you say that if 295 kgs of weight is falling on your head, will you survive? So that means you can say that if 75 kg you are not able to survive, so don't keep 500 gram of the equipment or piece of equipment or tools and tackles at height. Maybe 15 meter or 1 meter, doesn't matter. So here, if 295 you cannot tolerate, don't keep this equipment at height. If you are not able to tolerate 720 kg, then don't keep anything at height of 35 meter, 2.1 kg. Let us understand quickly. This is a 1.5 kg, 4 meter height. This wrench, pipe wrench is 1.5 kg, 4 meter. If this falls from 4 meter, 1.5 kg, you see this dotted line coming, you are in hallucin. That means medical treatment case will happen. He will not die, but he may die also. But as per the graphs, he is in safe zone. If you see here, Ian 397 helmet, shock absorption test, 5 kg of weight is falling from the 1 meter. Then there is a force transmitted to the head from F is less than or equal to 5 kN, is 49 kg, 49 joule. And if you see here, the impact coming here is green. That means 5 kg is falling on my head, with on my helmet, then probably I will survive. But this is very close to MTC. If you see here, this is on the borderline. Okay. So I again request you, please take the print of this slide and give to all your construction team people who are supposed to work at the down level, and some people are working at elevated level. For simultaneous operation, for maintenance activity, for construction activity, for general shutdown, we must do a safety communication to each and everyone. This slide can also be used for safety toolbox. So guys, here we have collected some history from different industry. I would not be telling the name of industry because this is the confidential and conflict of interest. But you can take this information as a true information. First state case 2021, there was some incident on offshore. 0.4 kg fell down from 4 meter. Hypo near miss 2021 onshore. इसके फटिंग मटेरियल हैज फॉलन डाउन. Hypo near miss 2021 onshore. This is the case. LTI 2021 0.5 meter height, matching equipment 320 kg on his foot. And hypo near miss, you can see here like this. Why I am telling you this incidences? Just to give you the root causes. If you see the root causes after the incident investigation of the hypos, we have seen that hypos means high potential, poor working or planning are the root cause. Generic risk assessment, we take the risk assessment generic and we don't do customize, we don't see the actual risk, and then we sign it. Inadequate permit to work, even permit to work was not able to do it. These are the root causes. Procedure not followed, most of the time procedure not followed, people are complacent, they are overconfident, nothing is going to happen. And of course lack of supervision, lack of training, procedure incomplete, and lack of communication. So guys, these root causes are basically responsible for all these high potential. And the mitigation measure, do the risk assessment. Result of drop object risk assessment shall be reflected in the appropriate work procedure and operational checklist, of course. Ensure all the personnel involved are aware of all the activity related to risk, duties and responsibilities and safety precautions. We have to tell in the toolbox. Ensure adequate supervision of the activities. We should put sufficient number of security safety supervision, and ensure that all the workforce has received appropriate SSC training. This is very important. So this slides is also very important for learning point of view, for PDCA point of view, so that we can prevent the incidents. Guys, these are the checklist for drop object. I will give you the link of this checklist in the description of the channel. You may feel free to download if you wish. The checklists are to be customized on work to work, location to location, size to site, situation to situation. Work site checklist, there are different checklist. Lifting task checklist to prevent the drop object, this side go different. Tools and equipment checklist, these are the different points we have to consider while we are working at height to prevent drop object. Guys, for prevention and mitigation control, Let us take one example of lifted equipment pre-trip inspection offshore container. Immediately before transporting a container offshore and before it returns trip, the container shall be inspected by a person appointed by the user. The container must be inspected. The user shall ensure that person appointed is competent for the purpose. The person should be competent, he should be skilled, he should be knowing the hazards. The appointed person shall check the validity of the certification by the reference of the inspection plate and verify that container includes its lifting set, is free from obvious defect and free from potential drop objects that could get in additional risk during the lifting operation. This is the examples, the points what we need to see before or pre trip inspection. First is inspection plate to ensure that inspection dates are current. So that means there is no expiry. Container for obvious sign to excessive corrosion or damage. There is no excessive corrosion or damage. Lifting set for obvious sign of damage. Is there any sign of damage? Lifting set to establish that all the parts are present, correct, properly connected and secured. Container roof for clip pockets and frame of the open frame container for the potential drop object. Container doors are closed and locked mechanism are it is secured. There are reference BSEN ISO 108553 is to 2018 offshore container and associated lifting set. If you see here what kind of hazards, see on the skid, this is the plate, loose plate. It can fall when you are lifting it. There are something inside this pocket. It may also fall. There is something in this pocket. This may also fall. That means the example was prevention and mitigation control for lifting equipment. Pre-trip inspection must have been done to prevent drop object. So guys, again preventing and mitigating control or prevention and mitigation control, we must do the hazard hunt. We must do the hazard hunt so that we identify the hazard before the lifting activity happens. So we have to go with open mandate. We have to have a cross-functional team. We need to see it. Either this is operational platform or this is under maintenance or during lifting. You must see that. So I'm not going to read it. You see these nuts and bolts. What is the situation? This may fall. You use your reply. You see here something loose parts are kept over here at height and this may fall anytime. It is unsecured. You can see some hammers are kept in the pocket and some person has forgotten. This may fall. You see that there is no hook and springs are here and these nuts may unscrew and can fall down. You can see there are various small and big parts of the equipment, system, tools and tackles, your structure. You may see this is corrosion, erosion and all these things. You can see whether this will fall down. These are the hammers. These are the lifting tools and tackles and screwdrivers. I mean to say that we have to go in the plant and we have to see with open-minded what are the drop object when where these hazards are sitting. We need to do simply a hazard hunting before our lifting operation happens, during operation, during construction, during shutdown and during normal plant safety inspection. Guys, in prevention and mitigation control, we also prepare sometimes drop object zone or map. This is nothing but only you need to take the layout of your plant and you need to do a hazard hunting. Based on the hazard hunting and based on the frequency, based on the activity, you need to make it green, yellow and red. What does green means? Green means personnel may enter as long as no additional barriers are in place. In this zone, person can go there without any taking permission, but there should not be any barrier given. In yellow zone, only person with specific task in the zone may enter. This zone is also having the drop object zone, but in this zone we need to go only for a specific task. The person should be knowing the hazard and risk. In red zone, the area authority must also ensure that all personnel related to drop red zone are aware of the hazard and ensure an appropriate plan is in place for the specific operation. In red zone, to me, no-go situation will happen. Only a critical operation team who knows the hazard and risk of this area must be going, and this has to be informed prior going in this area. Areas where person may be exposed to the drop object hazard may be classified as a drop red zone. This is the high likelihood where their drop object can happen. So guys, this is how we need to work as a safety supervisor, safety officer, construction manager, because this can kill anybody's life, or this can kill anybody. Again, prevention and mitigation and control, just to wrap up what we have learned, this is preventive measures, this is a mitigating measures. Preventive measures, good planning like site inspection, toolbox, risk assessment, permit to work has to be there. Primary fixing, secondary retention, maintenance, should be taken care. Survey and inspection has to be done when we are going to do, work at height or something where the likelihood of drop object. Tools and equipments, aloft, register and logbook should be there. Collision checklist should be there. Management of destruction should be there. Observation, stop, individual awareness and vigilance plan must be there. And drop object training must be there. It is compulsory. Preventing an incident by reducing the likelihood that an incident will occur. Now after drop, so mitigation. After drop mitigation, safety securing system should be there, effective use of barrier should be there, restricted access area should be there, red zone and no-go zone should be there, use of approved drop tools kit should be there, PPE are must, communication, standby person and PA warning must be there, reducing the consequence of an incident is preventive control fails or are not effective. Guys, I hope you are able to understand the situation. You are able to understand the preventive and control measures. Guys, with this, I am very sure these informations what we have seen in past following, slides. These informations were useful for you. I request you to please use this information as much as possible to train your people, because there are lack of awareness. If there are lack of awareness, this is the one of the root cause for drop object. So I hope this was useful for you. With this guy, I again request you to please subscribe the channel and put the bell icon press, and you can also send this information to your professional friend so that they can benefit it. You can also explore our website for different courses programs as much as you can do. With this guys, thank you very much. Have a nice day. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Thank you very much.